Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. MTarget, and this is a rather haggard looking, but still episode 1 of the morning meta. I'm going to go ahead and explain you guys really quickly what this is. This is an esports show Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we look to cover all tier 1 esports and tier 2s when we've got time. And the show really is just supposed to be the breadth of esports. So basis behind the show is back when I first got into esports, it was really difficult for a new guy to find any information, and I'm interested in multiple games. So because of that, I decided why not find a way to do that. And with that said, that's exactly what this show aims to do. In the upcoming week or so, we will be moving into a studio, cleaning myself up a little bit, adding a little more production value as well. But I set this as the start date, even if I'm a little bit behind. Because of that, here we go. So starting off, the biggest thing for pretty much everybody right now is the 2016 Season World Championships for League of Legends that started on Thursday, the September 29th. And we saw group stages this past weekend, which is a set of best of one. I find interesting considering that there are no major regions, at least, that use the best of one format still. So that's something that, some people will take some of these results with a grain of salt. And I certainly would as well when you consider some of these. So as of this morning, or last night even, technically, saw some very interesting results. So looking at Group A, which is Albus Nox Luna, which is a wildcard group out of Russia, Counterlogic Gaming, North America, Rox Tigers, Korea, and G2 Esports, Europe. You'd say, okay, so wildcard team, wildcard teams don't do that well. Wrong. Albus Nox Luna sitting at 2-1, is currently sitting at the top of the standing in A, although, again, they are in a three-way tie. Then Counterlogic Gaming sitting at 2-1 as well. Rox Tigers sitting at 2-1. That's right, Korea dropped a game. Everybody panic. And then G2 Esports sitting at 0-3. That's going to be a theme here, is Europe did not do well. Spoiler alert. Really bad week 1. Looking then at Group B, SK Telecom T1. That's right, SK. Go Faker, all that jazz. 2-1 as well. That's right, SKT dropped a game. The Flash Wolves. Because it was pretty. Apologies. This will be all printed out in the future. So, B. SKT lost to Flash Wolves last. It's a 41-minute game. Flash Wolves did try their best to throw a couple times, so it's not all bad. But still, SKT lost. I know. All Twitch, please. Cloud9 sitting at 2-1. IMA sitting at 1-2. IMA, a Chinese organization that is actually owned by a former player. And Flash Wolves sitting at 1-2. So LMS not doing great in Group B, but still taking a game off of SKT is definitely a big deal. So then going to Group C, we have Edward Gaming sitting at 2-1. Also, okay, that's not a big deal until we get to who took that game. AHQ Esports Club sitting at 2-1 as well, so we do still have one LMS org that is in top 2 somewhere. H2K Gaming sitting at 1-2. Spoiler alert, that is the only win that Europe had. And then finally, INTZ Esports out of Brazil, 1-2, and INTZ did take their first game, opening up Worlds on September 29th, up against Edward Gaming. It was actually a pretty good one as well, but that's a number to a wild card that was huge. And then finally in Group D, we have Samsung Galaxy sitting at 2-1, Team Solo Mid sitting at 2-1, Royal Never Give Up, sitting at 2-1, and then Splice sitting at 0-3. So Europe might not be getting a slot next time they go to Worlds. That's gonna be a little them in the future, but again, the games were good. I did not watch all of them, nor am I a league head. So a lot of the nuances I may have missed. Also, I missed a couple of the late night ones because I've been trying to reset my schedule for morning meta. But again, it was certainly good. And the fact that you've got no team went 3-0, no region went anything in 0. I mean, this is all very, very good. And a lot of the league analysts that I know have been saying this is the most competitive Worlds yet. And we just finished groups. So normally this is the part where I would say these are the matches that are upcoming, but nothing is upcoming until after Wednesday's show. So we will be doing upcoming matches on Wednesday and Friday as well. So that's going to be it for our League of Legends section. Very much for tuning in and spending your Monday morning with me. Go ahead and move on to the other major MOBA, which is Dota 2. Yes, we are almost still in the off-season. Off-season is now pretty much over, as we did have the Mars TV Dota 2 League 2016 Autumn Finals LAN, MOUSE, super long name. Was a very interesting LAN, was also very difficult to watch because it was, in China, and I'm trying to reset my sleep schedule, as I said. But the big names here, Newbie, Chinese Team Secret, is a new iteration on the Secret that we saw at TI, MVP Phoenix. Again, after some roster shuffle things, a little bit different name. So first outing for that roster, LGD Forever Young. Did not do too hot in the group stages. And then also in Group B, saw Evil Geniuses, OG, IG Vitality, and Gaming. So again, Chinese league, more Chinese teams, and you then see a couple outside teams invited in. Evil Geniuses, OG, and MVP Phoenix. MVP Phoenix being 3, and then Team Secret being the 4th. But for the actual results of MDL, very interesting. I'm going to look at the last jaunt here. Newbie versus Evil Geniuses in Winners Finals was 2-0 in favor of Newbie. Absolute stomp. Ugly. Everybody's going, well, need to figure their stuff out again. Roster's not maybe doing too hot. Gonna kind of see how that goes. Evil Geniuses gets knocked down to the lower bracket where they play Team OG. The new OG roster that was actually looking pretty good. OG blew out Team Secret in the losers semis, so to speak, losers round 3. And then losers finals, Evil Geniuses was taken to the limit in full best of 3. It was actually a pretty good series. But then going back to the grand finals, Newbie versus Evil Geniuses. Evil Geniuses won game 1, lost game 2, won game 3, and won game 4. Fairly dominant fashion. There's a couple highlight channels that are on YouTube if you're interested. Mail went off on Storm Spirit. Mail also had some crazy GPM games. Missed the OG series that were also very entertaining to watch. So Evil Geniuses, this looks like this could be a good roster for them, but again, it's a smaller field. I personally think that there are some teams that could have their number, as well as there was definitely some sloppiness that could be abused in the future. So that's MDL. Last weekend. Also, another one this weekend that normally I don't like covering qualifiers, but because this is for an upcoming Northeastern United States, or actually technically Northeastern North America, as it is going to be taking place in Canada, event, I'm going to cover it briefly because North American Dota has a soft spot in my heart, even though it tends to be a awful. We did see Team NP, which is Thomas Stack. Very good team, but they did not win. They went through winners the entire way, and then they lost to FDL in the finals in a full 5 game. FDL, of course, stands for Friendship, Dedication, and Love. So the way that Dota works, I would not be surprised at all if they turned down all sponsorship offers. They could keep their name. So FDL will be going to the LAN for BEAT Gaming Corp, which is also sponsored by the Canadian League of Gamers, Bell Canada, that will be taking place in Montreal in November, mid-November, the 11th through the 13th. Might even be going to that one, not totally sure yet, because they are a little bit lacking in the information department as far as what they're doing. Who's going to be able to watch what where. So that's a very, very short Dota section. Normally we're going to try and keep each of these about 10 minutes long. Right now we're looking, obviously, only about 3 or 4 minutes for Dota. But again, just 2 very short results screens. We'll look to find some more information to fill in the future. Again, I was hoping for this show to be about an hour-long show each day, but we might have to shuffle that again, just as I'm learning how bits and pieces go. So feedback is definitely appreciated. Tweet at me on Twitter at MTargetProduct. You can also comment on this if you're watching it on YouTube or SoundCloud. If you're watching this on the live version of Twitch, I do not have Twitch chat open when I live record. However, I will watch it during the reruns at 8:30, 9:30, 10:30. So all these times, of course, are Eastern. So if you're watching this and it says live recording, sorry I don't see chat, although hopefully we will have some mods that can keep an eye on things. But then during the reruns, I will be keeping an eye on chat and keeping an eye out for any thoughts. I certainly do appreciate your opinions. But again, easiest way to get a hold of me is on Twitter at MTargetProduct. So thank you very much so far. So moving forward, let's go into the FPS genre here. Counter-Strike Global Offensive. The biggest stuff going on right now is ESL 1. So ESL 1 had a major LAN in New York. This was not a major LAN with the capital M major, as in Valve sanctioned. I mean, it's Valve sanctioned, but Valve sponsored. This is what we would call a premier event, I guess, as Wikipedia would hear things out. So on. But again, this was a Swiss style event. So that means that you had 5 rounds and everybody sort of played until they had too many, until they went, if they had 3 losses, then they were totally out, as they could into the playoffs. So results of the Swiss group are as follows. Nantes Vincere, or Navi, went 3-0. Their round difference was actually plus 24. This would be utilized if there was another team that went 3-0 as well. But because they won 3 matches, they did not have to play rounds 4 and 5. SK Gaming went 3-1. They lost once to Navi, so they had to play Virtus Pro. Round 4, they again 3-1, total of 54-47 in about 7 round difference. So that was feeling closer, but again, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, not Counter-Strike. Virtus Pro, 3rd out of the Swiss stages. They won 3 of their 5 matches. They did have to go the full 5. Team Liquid as well went 3-2. Optic went 2-3. Fnatic went 2-3. Astralis 1-3. Not looking good for that squad. They've been having a rough run of tournaments. And then lastly, G2 Esports. They did not have a good week in League of Legends or Counter-Strike, going 0 and out. So that's the Swiss results. Not looking good. But again, the interesting thing here that we talked about Navi doing great. Virtus Pro having a bit of a rough time, but SK Gaming, Navi, SK, Virtus Pro, 1, 2, 3. So Navi up against 4th place, Team Liquid. Navi, 2-1. So close, but you kind of expect this at this level of play here, especially in North American soil. The NA and South American teams tend to do better over here because of that home crowd advantage. Then looking at the SK Gaming versus Virtus Pro, also, again, 2-1 in favor of Virtus, not in favor of SK, so that was technically an upset. Virtus Pro was 3rd out of Swiss stages. Now, on the broader spectrum, it's kind of up for debate as to who is favored here, just because depending on the map pool and everything else, I would personally love to see SK Gaming and Virtus Pro in like a 1st to 5. I know that would be super long. I know that everybody would hate it, except for like me. I don't care. I want to see it. I would like to see them across the entire breadth of maps, not just sort of trying to pigeonhole themselves out, because there is a bit of gambling and rolling dice on that, which I appreciate, but at the same time, I would love to see just a little bit more out of them in terms of just these 2 teams go at it. And then lastly, we had Virtus Pro versus Natus here, so Navi versus VP. It was a very interesting series. I did not watch the end of it. I watched the first 2 maps and then realized that it was already well after midnight and I needed to be. So, yeah, I gotta find a way to be able to catch all of these late night events. Figure out a way. But Navi did win 2-1. It was a very close set. Game 1, though, so could have actually gone out 2-0. So Navi looking very, very strong this event. So that is definitely something to keep in mind. So tournaments that I'm looking forward to. E-League has sort of started. Qualifiers have had completed. Talk about it very briefly. It's not going to start until the end of October. October 21st is when Group A starts. So obviously we do have some time, but I'm kind of excited about it. E-League kindled my appreciation for Drake. So Group A, the first group that we'll be looking at, again, we'll talk about this when we get a little bit closer, but Mouse Sports, Cloud9, FaZe, and Immortals. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to seeing what we can get on one of the biggest stages once again. Counter-Strike news, not so much in. Again, one of the things that forward I do want to try and get a little more to is being the news section as well. That being that E-League announced, so Turner announced that E-League will be the winter major for Counter-Strike. So beginning of January 2016 in Atlanta, Georgia, there will be a Counter-Strike Global Offensive Valve major that will be run by E-League. And now everybody's going, what about, is that going to be on Twitch? Because E-League, of course, their finals for each week have been on TBS because they are owned by TBS. But no, they've said that the entirety of the broadcast will be available on Twitch. They will just be doing some internal broadcast as well onto TBS. Very, very good for Counter and esports as a whole, seeing continued growth on television networks, and not just those dedicated gamer ones like Jinx or Ginx in the United Kingdom. Good. Again, GANX, however you want to pronounce that, in the UK is great for esports in the United Kingdom, but being able to, again, continuous is what we as an esports community need to be trying for. So that's going to be it for Counter-Strike for the last couple days. Coming up, we've got a couple online matches. Nothing really caught my eye, though, in terms of matches that I'm looking forward to. Again, if you guys think that there are matches that I should have brought up here, tweet at me, and I will look to see, okay, who are teams that people want to hear about and everything else, and shift my news a little bit. Now, other FPS here that, again, very near and dear to my heart. Overwatch Open concluded this weekend. Again, speaking of E-League, at the E-League studios in Atlanta, and was a very interesting event. So, Group A, Menvius and Energy made it out of their group, so Liquid and Splice did not. Group B, Fnatic and Cloud9 made it out, although Method certainly gave them a run for their money. So, rough for Method, but again, Method was a team that a lot of people didn't even expect to make it into finals at all. They weren't supposed to. It was supposed to be Complexity, but Complexity didn't really show up for the last week of finals or of online playoffs, as well as Method really showed up. And then on LAN, Method was that team where even when they lost, they were happy. They're a group of guys that were fun to root for. That said, other people that were fun to root for at Europe, Rogue and Misfits were both fun to watch. Misfits a little bit more so. They were a little bit more happy-go-lucky. And then in Group A, we had Ninjas in Pajamas and FaZe Clan. Ninjas in Pajamas, the team that really popularized the 3-3 strat in Tank 3 healer meta. Some people think that it was more to find a way to differentiate themselves because they were doing it even before it was super strong. People thinking that they were just actually ahead of their time. either way, they lost to Misfits in the playoffs in Europe. So go ahead and get into playoffs now. Ninjas in Pajamas versus Misfits went 3-1. Rogue versus FaZe Clan. Rogue won that 3-2. So Rogue, again, so clan winners before this event. They won the ESL Atlantic Showdown in Cologne, Germany. And we're expected to maybe see a rematch with them against Envious. You know, Envious lost to them after being 50 matches straight winning. And then Envious lost to them at ESL Showdown. Everybody's talking about, are we going to get this rematch? European Juggernaut versus North American Juggernaut. And, well, that didn't happen. Misfits beat out Rogue 3-2. Very, very good set. Very long, very, very close set. I do know that E-League did upload all of those to their YouTube channel. So if you did miss those and you're interested in Overwatch, check those out. Misfits versus Rogue, which was the playoff finals. The Rogue versus Misfits series in Group B was good as well, but I personally think that the finals was better. It was a little bit tighter. So worth watching, in my opinion. Jumping back over to North America, Envious versus Cloud9 was 3-1. The one map that Cloud9 did take was a very, very close map. And then looking at Fnatic versus Energy. Energy, that team at Shaq, owner, everybody's, oh yeah, Energy. And then, of course, in Energy Overwatch, you've got Seagull, one of the biggest streamers on Twitch right now, period. And went 3-0 in favor of Fnatic. Energy just could not get it going. And this was definitely more of a Fnatic was just playing better than Energy. Energy looked pretty good. There was nothing when I was watching it, again, this was about a week ago now, where I could say, oh, Energy messed up here, here, and here. It was just playing very, very well. So I look forward to seeing more of Fnatic, and I also look forward to seeing Energy find their feet again. Because Energy, I will say this current meta does not suit them. They like having those flashy dive comps, I've noticed. The finals, Envious over Fnatic. Envious did win 3-1, so Envious got to go to primetime television. However, they probably do not wish that they had, because primetime TV had them get destroyed by the Misfits, only taking one map and Nailbiter. So Team Envious did manage to win Nepal, but they lost Kings Row, lost Watchpoint Gibraltar, they lost Lingjiang Tower. And Kings Row never really has been Envious's map, but Watchpoint Gibraltar was one of the maps that they made their name. So Envious is going to need to scrape back together and get things. So looking like we're actually going to only give me a half-hour show today, so it might end up being a half-hour show instead of an hour-long show. I'm perfectly fine with. Last major point that I have on my script is Street Fighter. So Street Fighter 5 did also partake in ESL 1 this weekend in New York. /The Score Esports Brooklyn beatdown 256 entrant tournament was a very interesting method of qualifying for this event. But again, semi-open event. But again, 256 people, very, very stacked roster of players, very, very good. And even the finals, which were then held in the Barclays Center, big stage, was Kamba's Zhao Hai over against EG's Momochi, and Zhao Hai did win it. Zhao Hai, coming from winner's bracket, did actually get blown out the first best of 5. First best of 5 was 0-3 Momochi. Momochi steamrolled right on through. Then Zhao Hai staggered in the beginning of the second best of 5 and managed to bring it back and then win it in the very last possible stock. Great Street Fighter. Cammy versus Ken. Cammy won. We're seeing a lot of Cammys online now, which is great. But in all seriousness, it was very, very good to watch. Very cool to see Zhao Hai do well. I'm an EG fan, I will admit that. So it sucked a little bit for the EG fanboy in me. But Zhao Hai's had some flirtings with greatness in Street Fighter 5, and it's nice to see him win a major event. Zhao Hai went home with about $30,000. Momochi went home with about half that. You actually know about $11,000. It's right here. But again, thank you very much for tuning in. This is the pilot episode of the Morning Meta. We right here on twitch.tv/MTarget Production, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern, with the live recording, and then starting at 8:30 Eastern, we will be doing the rebroadcast. So do be sure to tune in Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch, or if you are more of an audio person, we'll be uploading these to soundcloud.com target as well after the live recording, and I will also be uploading it to YouTube. When I do upload to SoundCloud and YouTube, I will be tweeting about that on my personal Twitter at MTargetProduct. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Back up in just a moment. And before we do sign off here, I would like to take a moment of silence. Fizzerp did die over the weekend. Fizzerp was a Call of Duty pro, very pretty much a cornerstone in the community. He died in a car accident over the weekend. So before we sign off, just gonna take a moment, think about him, or rather his family, his girlfriend, and all of his friends who are currently suffering loss. Once again, thank you everybody. If you did tune in late, stay tuned. I'll be doing this show in just a moment. Thank you all very much for tuning in. My name is MTarget. This has been the Morning Meta.